can join a secret society, and I was trying to figure out, like, all the stuff that, like, happens with that, but I'm not sure. So it's fine. Okay. Let's rest. Do. So too green. Pink. Then people could tell you apart. Oh, Apple. Hey, Luke, could you go on for a bit? I need to talk to Apple about something. Sure. Catch up with you later, man. He poses nonchalantly while his roommate walks away, but once Luke is out of sight, his face falls. So, did you talk to my brother? What did he say about me? Oh yeah. Well, I tried to talk to William about you, but it didn't quite turn out like I expected. Oh? He thought I was asking because, he thinks I have a crush on you. Oh, I see. Which, he told me, was fine with him. In fact, he said a girlfriend would be good for you. Why? The usual nonsense about how a girl would make you settle down and work hard. Sounds like a boring girl to me. So, anyway, sorry if I didn't find out what you wanted to know. No, you did fine. Thanks. Hold on, is there a... I want to look something up. Donald. I don't want him to think I have a date with him, or have a crush on him, but I want him to... Maybe I'll just do that one. It's fine. Suddenly he reaches out and pokes my cheek. Got something on your face. Oh! Anyway, I should get going. See ya. I'm getting ready for dinner when someone knocks on the door. Hey. Hi guys. What's up? Want to earn some easy merits? Doing what? Butching and baking and candlestick making? Butching? That's not even the right word. Could be. She's a horse. You ever been kicked by one? What did you want me to do again? He already said. Are you in or not? Okay. Fine. Lead on. The boys lead me to a classroom with a stove set up at the back. Oh, wait. Isn't there a way for me to get... Well, I don't know the spell, so it's probably fine. There are several pots and a collection of metal cylinders on the floor nearby. They don't have lids, and they're not the right size for any pipes that I know of. What are they? There you are. Now if you'll just hold still for a moment. A wave of green magic rolls over me. That should improve your resistance to heat and stop you from burning yourself too easily. Of course, you still need to be careful. Especially you, Mr. Pfeiffer. Yes, ma'am. You have an instructions sheet with all the steps, including the proportions for the dyes and fragrance oils. Do you have any questions? We're cool. All right. I'm going to step out, but I'll be back shortly to keep an eye on things. Don't worry. I won't interfere. I might even bring my knitting. She walks out to leave me with the two boys, who obviously haven't told me everything. What are we doing here? Making candles. It's for the fundraiser thing. Oh, right. Are any of these mine? Yours? Because I'm the treasurer, I got to pick the design for the freshman candles. Oh, I don't know then. What we've got here is all the same type, so it's only one class. Ah. So she's still mad at you about last week then? Ooh, Potsdam? Nah, she was never really mad. She loves me. If she loves you so much, why doesn't she marry you? What? She's an old lady, you goon. She's not that old, but too old for you, I'm sure. Apple, you're one to talk. And we shouldn't talk like this, just in case she comes back. Alright, candles. So how does it work? Set up the wick, melt the wax, pour it in, then cool it down. Easy. You can cast the seal spell, right? No. Alright. You run the wax, and Luke can do the wicks. Sure. Okay. The wax is set up in the double boiler. Make sure there's always water in there, and keep a good eye on the temperature. If the wax gets too hot, it will explode. Explode? That's why Hot Potsdam heat-proofed us. Just keep an eye on it. As long as you're watching, we'll have time to catch it if it starts going wrong. When the wax chunks are melted, mix in the oil and the color, then stir it with a wooden spoon. Have you done this before? No, I read the instructions. It's not that hard. Once the pot is ready, you can pour it into the molds. And what are you going to do while we're working? I get the hard part. You'll see. Working together, Luke and I assemble and fill the candle molds. Alright, stand back. Here I go. I can feel the magic in the air, but I'm not sure what he's doing. What is that? Shh, hang on. He's still casting it? Okay, this is a tougher spell than usual. A minute later, he relaxes. There you go. You can cut off the ends now. I look inside the mold. Not only has the wax completely cooled, but it's shrunk away from the sides of the mold and completely even. You can't cool it all at once or it'll collapse. If you leave it to cool on its own, it sinks full of holes, so it's tricky. Couldn't you just shape the wax around the wick in the first place without melting it? It wouldn't work right afterwards. It wouldn't blend right. And so we produce a nice set of candles. Wonderful work, ducklings. 10 merits for each of you. A job well done. Nice. Ellen and I meet outside the gym. There are a lot of families and people here, not just students, but ordinary people and families who must have driven up here to see the play. After we buy our tickets, we can go inside. Folding chairs have been set up in rows across the gym floor facing the stage. Behind the stage, a giant backdrop painting hangs on the wall, displaying marble pillars and to suggest a fantasy of ancient Greece. At least, it looks like a painting. It's probably an illusion. That's gotta be easier than having to paint something so huge. We find a place to sit without anyone too tall in front of us, and after a while the show begins. It was every bit as tragic as Ellen suggested, and bloody too. Nice special effects though. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Isn't that Shakespeare? No, it was someone else. Cosgrove, I think, from The Mourning Bride. So what's that one about? Another story of revenge and murder? Sort of. It's kind of complicated. Let me see if I can remember. The rebel leader kidnaps the princess, but then they fall in love and secretly get married. But then there's a shipwreck, so she's washed up on shore and rescued by her father, the king. The king wants to marry her off to his ally, and she doesn't dare tell him she's already married to his enemy. So she thinks the rebel fellow is dead anyway. Only he's not, because he was washed up somewhere else and rescued by a queen, who falls in love with him. But then the king falls in love with the queen, but they're enemies. So everyone loves someone else who loves someone else, and they're all trying to murder the people that they think that have betrayed them. And they end up feeling guilty and try to change their mind. Only it's too late because the plots are already in motion, so they all end up getting killed by their own assassins. The moral is, I guess, revenge is dangerous. Or else, don't change your mind. Even if a man treated me like Jason, I would never do what Medea did. Well, of course you wouldn't do that. But if someone I loved betrayed me... Man... No, it's fine. Let's not. I'd want to forget. Being betrayed is terrible. But trying to get revenge would only make things worse. It wouldn't fix anything that had already happened. You'd just make more people unhappy. The only way to make things better is to forget that you ever loved them and move on. Then eventually it won't hurt anymore. That sounds so unhealthy, Apple. Eventually. Anyway, thanks for coming with me. No problem. On Saturday morning, I get up early and go to the staff room to collect mail. Apple, there you are. Here, let me give you a hand with this. We need to get moving. Where are we going? To the mall for the fundraiser. You did say you'd cover my shift, remember? Right, which shift is that? Well, because we're lowly freshmen, we're supposed to do the last shifts. And all the officers have to help move things first thing in the morning, so we're going to be there all day. I mean, you are. I'm really sorry about this. It's just that I promised someone and I can't. I'll make it up to you somehow. It's alright. Anyway, let's get the mail out. Minnie and I delivered the mail, including our own allowances, and then took the van with them to the mall with Professor Grabby and the other student officers, and the goods for our booth. The booth looked very festive with all the candles. It should do well. Anyway, I'm free for most of the day, and I can do whatever I want as long as I don't leave. What's in the magic store? I've got $48. I don't think any of the wands are basically better than each other. Oh. We're done for now. I finished my shopping. As the day passes, I grow more and more bored with the mall. It's a fun place to visit, but well, nobody lives here. It's a fun place to visit, but, well, nobody lives here. But wandering around all day with nowhere to go and nothing to do gets old. It's getting dark and cold in here. On the bright side, that makes the display of candles look that much more inviting. At last, it's time for my turn at the booth. To my surprise, Professor Grabby is standing behind the booth when I arrive. Sir? Do not worry, Miss Pye. I am only here to supervise. I am not a salesman. No, I can't imagine he'd be a very good one. Take your place. I'll be sitting over there if you have any need of me. And only if you have a need. I do not appreciate being interrupted while I'm reading. Yes, sir. I step behind the book and look at the current supplies. Once I've taken count of what's available, I get to work, smiling at passerbyers, hoping to encourage them to check out my wares. An older student passes by the booth. Oh, the candles. You want to buy one? I know we're supposed to be taking money from non-magical people, but I don't think it's against the rules to sell to witches. She picks up one of my pink peppermint votives and sniffs at it. Pink and peppermint? Do you really think this goes together? Apparently someone does. They've been selling. I suppose a small child might find them cute. Well, perhaps you should leave them for the children then. She rolls her eyes but leaves. More people come by to check out the candles, and a few buy some. More after I learn to start telling everyone that it's for a school fundraiser for school. Well, it is. Time passes and passes and passes. I don't have a watch. I'm not sure how long these shifts are supposed to be anyway. When do we go back home? I could ask the professor, but he said not to bother him, so... At last, with great clattering of metal, the shops of the mall begin to close. Professor Grabby blinks and looks up from his book. Ms. Pye, what time is it? I don't know, sir. I start to wobble and he leaps up from his chair to catch me. Idiot girl, have you not sat down for all this time? No, sir. He sighs. Well, I can't take you back like this. Someone would assume I worked you to the bone on purpose. Come along then. After a quick detour to lock up the remaining supplies and money, he leads me to a building beside the mall, which turns out to be a restaurant. I didn't know this was here. It's hidden from casual viewers. Sit, say nothing. I will order. A few minutes later, I have a cup of something hot in front of me. What is this? Chai. It's sweet and spicy and makes my throat burn a little bit. Now I want some chai. Thanks. It shouldn't have been necessary if you had any sense. I suppose I should be thankful that you didn't lock your knees and faint. Falling face first into a table full of candles? Ouch. I've never been alone in a social situation with grabbing her before. I don't really know what to say now. So, what were you reading? Nothing that would interest you. Well, I can't know if I'm interested if I don't know what it is. Or else I am interested because I don't know. The title is Some Anomalies in Interpretations of Fragmentary Great Appendage Arthropod Fossils from the Lower Cambrian Shales. What? Okay, so it's about the anomalies in interpretations of fragmentary great appendage arthropod fossils that were found in the Lower Cambrian Shales. Got it. Oh. As I said. What does that mean? Concern yourself with your own studies, Miss Pye. Excuse me. You have more than enough work ahead of you as it is. Yes, sir. I guess he's not much for small talk. What's the other thing? No. I like that one. We know a little bit about him. After a while, a waiter places a small plate of bright red berries in the center of the table. Is that your dessert? They're complimentary. The staff will be displeased if you reject their hospitality. In other words, I'd better eat one. I pick one up and look at it more closely. It's shaped like a strawberry, but it's not a real fruit. It's hard and shiny, like some sort of candy.
Professor Grabiner is already eating his, so I pop mine into my mouth. For a moment, it's just vague sweetness as the sugar melts on my tongue. Then all of a sudden, a burst of liquid flavor. It feels energizing. Professor Grabiner's face does not change at all, despite the sweet treat. I suppose it's too much to expect that it would cheer him up.
We should go.
Yes, sir. Thank you again.
I love him so much, though.
Early on Monday, all the freshmen are called together.
Good morning, buttercups. The Thanksgiving break begins this week after classes on Tuesday. There will be no further activities scheduled until Monday, the 2nd of December. If you are staying through the break, the library will be open and meals will be served at regular times, as well as a feast on Thursday and some organized activities. If you are leaving, you do not need to. You need to leave before tomorrow evening, and you need to leave before tomorrow evening, and you haven't already made arrangements. Please come talk to me. Now, there is one more thing. For those of you who are Wild Seed, if you are leaving and this is your first time away from the comfort and protection of Iris Academy, you are witches and wizards, and the people around you out there are not. The choice you made 3 years ago still stands. You must not reveal our secrets to the outside world. You must not discuss or display magic in front of anyone who is not one of us. Not your old friends, not your families, no one. If you betray our trust, you will not be allowed to return, and we would miss you. Now, I'm sure you will have a busy week schedule ahead of you. So I'll let you get on with your schedules.
As I'm about to head off, someone catches my arm. Hi, Apple. Thanks for covering my shift. Hi, Apple. Thanks again for covering my shift on Saturday. Professor Grabiner said you did a great job.
He did?
Sure. You worked hard and raised a lot of money for our class tribute. I wasn't sure he'd tell you himself, so I thought I should carry the message. Anyway, I've got to go sort out my schedule, so bye! So, Professor Grabiner almost complimented me, in an indirect way. Huh. Well, I'd better decide what I do this week. Open! If I might have your attention, please. Take hold of each other's hands and close your eyes. We give thanks to the parents who created us and the friends who helped us grow, to the earth which nurtures us, and the other worlds which inspire us, for what we have been given and for what we have to give, for those who have taken us in when we were in need, for forgiveness, and for the hope of renewal. May our tributes bring joy, and may no call go unanswered this Thanksgiving season. So may it be. Hands pull away from mine as other students echo her words. Have happy holidays! Now I can hang up my cape, find my parents, and be on my way. I arrived back at school from my vacation feeling slightly disoriented. It was nice seeing family again, but in some ways, they felt like strangers. And my old friends, they've all moved on. Back to my room then. Hey, Apple, you're back. How was your holiday? It was really weird. I know we're not allowed to talk about magic, and I didn't, but I was worried my parents were going to ask about it, and I wouldn't know what to say, you know? But they didn't ask anything. I mean, they asked how my classes were and if I liked my teachers and things like that, but nothing about wands or spells, not even a hint. It's like they'd completely forgotten. They probably have. What? Well, it's all part of the same thing, you know? Outsiders aren't allowed to know about magic. What if your parents went around telling everyone their daughter was a witch? But they know I was going to a school for magic. They saw me in my robes. I don't know how it works. I just know that wild seed parents are kind of encouraged to forget about it after school starts. Is that why my family didn't come for me? They forgot about me? It's not supposed to make them forget about you. Just forget that you're a witch. It's easier this way, isn't it? To keep a secret. Like you said, if they knew, they'd ask. People still ask about school and everything I tell them. I have to make it up or change the details so it doesn't sound magical, and then I have to remember what I said? Yeah, some people can't handle that. That's why some wild That's why some wild seed kids stop going home. And some of them go home and never forget. Never come back. But you came back and we're glad to see you, right? Yeah. Looks like Ellen's not entirely sure what to think about this development either. My old classmates kept all kinds of secrets from their parents. Who they were dating, where they went at night, what they had and hadn't done. Is this the normal way for things to be? Is this just part of growing up? Well, I won't be seeing my parents again until Christmas. For now, it's back to school. On Monday morning, someone knocks on our door. Virginia gets up to answer it. Good morning. Here are your exam schedules for the day. She returns, holding a piece of paper. Exams today, but we haven't had time to prepare. Well, it has been a while since the last exam. We've had all that time. That's not the same. Well, we'll do our best, right? Exam after class today. What spells do I have? Green, white, black. So here I am. I wonder what this exam will be about. That one sound is so loud. In the dungeon again. The exit to this dungeon has been hidden. You cannot teleport out of the level. You must use your magic wisely to find your way out before you run out of energy. You may surrender at any time, and you will retrieve from the dungeon safely. However, you will fail your exam and receive demerits. Good luck. I am aware of a hidden exit. Wait, there's more? Oh well. Beep. Beep. I climbed the stairs and emerged from the dungeon, blinking into the sunlight. Congratulations, Apple! For succeeding on your quest, you receive 5 merits. Thanks! I hope you enjoyed putting your skills to practice. Now if you'll excuse me. Back in our dorm, I find Ellen muttering to herself. How'd it go? Didn't. You didn't take the exam? That's what he said. I don't understand. Were you in the dungeons or not? I was in the dungeon. I found the way out. I just didn't use magic. How did you do that? I analyzed the layout to decide which walls were most likely structurally to be false and checked them for inconsistencies until I found 2 walls that were identical. I was sure one was an illusion, but they still felt solid, so I decided my mind was being fooled into stopping my hand to make me think I felt something. So I jumped at the wall so I would hit it midair and my mind wouldn't be able to pull me back, and it worked. But I didn't cast any spells, so he said it didn't count and wouldn't give me any merits for it. Oh. Well, that's not fair. They always say it doesn't matter how we solve the challenges as long as we solve them, right? Yeah. It's a nasty trick. I wonder how many people they catch by not telling us the real rules. You're right. Yeah, you're right. It's not fair. They're doing it wrong. She stomps out of the room. Where's she going? I follow in Ellen's wake as she steams through the halls. Professor Grabiner, sir! I beg your pardon? Your testing procedure is unbalanced and unfair! Take it up with the headmistress. I have no time for this. No, you listen to me. It's important. She's yelling at Grabiner? I can feel the fascinated crowds hovering around to watch the show. Would you be willing to accept detention in exchange for my listening to your diatribe? Yes! I see. Carry on. You tell us that we're supposed to be creative, but you discourage creative solutions. You tell us we're supposed to think out of our way out of challenges, but you don't teach us to think. All we've learned since we've been here is spells. No history, no literature, no guidance. And on what is and isn't accepted behavior, and then you punish us anyway. You tell us to experiment, but you don't tell us how to do it safely. You don't give us the tools to measure our progress, and you make fun of science for doing what you can't. It's wrong. Have you finished? Yes. Very well. I will see you on Saturday for your detention, Miss Middleton. He swirls his cape around him and walks away. Ah! I think I'm gonna quietly sneak back to the room. I wake up suddenly in the middle of the night. I'm not sure why. I thought I heard something. Was someone at the door? I wait a few moments, but I don't hear anything except Virginia's snoring. Back to sleep then. I learned a new spell. Apple, I believe I have something that belongs to you. Okay. She hands me a nondescript brown paper bag. I peek inside. What? You see... Yes, you see, some boys were playing catch with it in the cafeteria. They found it in the hallway. I don't know how it came to be there. But there you are, safe and sound. I've had it cleaned and mended for you. Thanks. Don't worry, Dove. What seems like the most terrible moment imaginable when you are young is only a tiny speck in the illustrated history. I'll see you later. Yeah, that doesn't help. She bustles away. How did one of my bras end up in the hallway somewhere? Yeah, that doesn't help. Even if it's a little speck, it's awful. Alright.